Welcome, friends, and hello to the returning citizens of Nindie Nation. I'm Jeff, and there's a massive eShop sale happening right now. If you want to know how to find all of the best deals, I'll touch on that at the end of the video. Today, though, I wanted to try something a bit different. So what I've done is gathered the 5 indie games that are a part of the Nintendo eShop end-of-year sale, which are at their lowest ever prices and all carry a Metacritic score of 90 or above. It's safe to say that if you've got some time on your hands, you just happen to receive some of those sweet, sweet eShop digital dollars, and you haven't played one of these games, these 5 titles are a great place to start if you're looking for just the thing to keep your Joy-Cons synced. You may not know the name Supergiant, but you've probably heard of their games. In fact, you've probably heard of their latest game, which we'll get to in a minute. But as the only developer to claim 2 spots on today's list, I wanted to make sure everyone knew just how good Bastion is. After the mysterious event known only as the Calamity, you wake up in a gorgeous, hand-drawn world and set off to figure out just what happened. As you start to explore the world around you, not only do you notice it is building itself as you progress, but also that there's a narrator telling your story as you play it out in real time. The story, the world, and the characters you'll meet during the 6 or so hours you'll spend in the world of Bastion are likely what you'll remember best, as there's very little else like it, but there's a lot more to this timeless title. Playing as a top-down action RPG, you'll use a variety of guns, melee weapons, and special attacks to clear out waves of enemies and bosses alike. Every weapon plays out completely differently, so there's bound to be something that speaks to you, and as you play, not only will you gain experience to level up, but you'll also build out the little town in which you reside, bringing new characters and numerous resources to help you spec out the game exactly as you want. If you want more challenge, you can make the game harder and reap more rewards in return, but if you just want to experience the truly compelling narrative, well, you can do that too. There aren't many games that can deliver as memorable of an experience in 6 hours as Bastion, but if that isn't enough for you, the built-in achievement system and surprisingly smart approach to New Game Plus can easily stretch this out to a 20-hour adventure, and it goes without saying, but I will anyways, that while Bastion is 80% off for just $2.99, regardless of which path you take, it is well worth every penny. Of the 5 games we discussed today, Shovel Knight is probably the name most of you recognize, but right now, the entire Shovel Knight treasure trove is 38% off for $24.99, and the amount of content you get for that price rivals some of the best values in gaming, right alongside releases such as Valve's The Orange Box or classic collections from publishers like Capcom or Sega. But let's take a step back. Shovel Knight is the passion project turned Kickstarter darling turned indie magnum opus of the team at Yacht Club Games, which started development in 2013 and culminated in the 5-game treasure trove collection in late 2019. Shovel Knight, at its core, is a side-scrolling retro action platformer that is inspired by the best of the best, including Mega Man, Mario, and Castlevania, and should not be missed by anyone. In addition, the Trove includes 3 additional campaigns, Plague of Shadows, Spectre of Torment, and King of Cards, which are all entirely new games with a different playstyle that all tell a cohesive story that is lighthearted and wholly satisfying. And there's even a great little card game in there called Joustus for those of you who love deck-building games like Final Fantasy VIII's Triple Triad. On top of that, you get the best Smash Bros. Game that isn't Smash Bros. In Shovel Knight Showdown, and it alone includes 20 different campaigns, and again, the best Smash Bros. Style gameplay that isn't Smash Bros. 5 full games with tons of replay value that represent some of the best work you can find from this style of game. True, the Trove did used to cost $30 before all of the titles were included, but since the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove has been completed, $25 for all of this content is the best we've seen yet. If you've ever considered Shovel Knight but think it might not be for you, now is the time to bite the bullet and give it a shot. It's accessible to anyone, includes a bunch of co-op and multiplayer content, and at $5 per game while it's 38% off is indeed one of the best values in gaming. But let's say you want strategy. Let's say you want tactics. Let's say you want something you can really sink your teeth into and grind out to your heart's content. I'll admit, while I loved Image Inform's Steamworld Dig titles, I hesitated on Steamworld Heist for some time. But when I finally jumped in, it was clear why this game is one of the highest-rated indies around. Set in the Steamworld universe, it's just enough removed that you don't need any previous experience in the series, but just close enough that fans of the previous titles will find a lot to relate to. So don't let your knowledge, or lack thereof, play a role in whether or not you pick this one up. Rather, look at the gameplay. It looks like a side-scrolling platformer, but really, it's a turn-based RPG with a bunch of real-time elements, somewhere between a Fire Emblem and Valkyria Chronicles. You'll move your character freely, and once you've picked your spot, you'll swap between upgradable, customizable weapons based on the task at hand, and carefully aim your shot to cause splash damage, ricochet off of walls to reach enemies practically out of sight, or, just go for the headshot, and when you pull it off with incredible precision, it feels awesome. So satisfying. Plus, the story could pass as a spin-off of Firefly with how much charm and wit accompany the daring escapades of a ragtag bunch of spacefaring nobodies. You could mainline Steamworld Heist in about 10 hours if you want, but I think most people will get sucked into exploring the side quests or just grinding out levels to build their perfect team and arsenal, and that will take you upwards of 20 hours. All the more reason why Steamworld Heist at 75% off for a measly $5 is so worth those Bowser bucks. And if you're not traditionally a fan of the tactics or strategy genre, Steamworld Heist is the perfect game to try out first. Our next entry on the highest-rated indies worth picking up isn't so much geared toward a specific type of gamer as it is geared toward your preference and tone, or what kind of other media tickles your fancy. Do you like a story that is dark, dripping with atmosphere, and constantly keeping you on your toes? Do you like the kind of storytelling that isn't as much horror as it is just kinda messed up? If you want to play a game for 3 to 4 hours, set the controller down, and spend the next week recalling what happened and falling down an internet rabbit hole of analyses trying to put the pieces together and figuring out just what it means to you, then there is no better game for you, my friend, than Inside by Playdead. Inside is the successor to 2010's cinematic platformer Limbo, and the 6-year wait couldn't have been more worthwhile. Primarily a cinematic puzzle platformer like its predecessor, Inside puts you in the shoes of a boy who stumbles upon an otherworldly laboratory and must escape by any means necessary. Just about everything wants to kill you, and the way those deaths play out are just, well, there's something else. You'll likely fail often as you attempt to solve each area's lethal traps, and along the way you'll start recognizing pieces of this game's puzzle. But just as the gameplay itself, it will largely be up to you to figure out just what all of it means. Thought-provoking would be quite the understatement here. The game, as grim as it is, looks gorgeous too, with a fluid, monochromatic art style that is accented by occasional colors and littered with impressive lighting effects throughout. You'll hate where you are, but you'll love what you're seeing at the same time. It's hard to go too much further without spoiling parts of the game, but Inside is absolutely geared toward those who love a movie that is meant to keep you thinking about it well after the credits roll. And with a 66% discount, $6.79 will provide you with about the runtime you'd expect from a couple of movies, but leave you with a lasting impression for far, far longer. And the last title for today's video is not only the most recent entry on the list, but one that has received widespread acclaim, including numerous Game of the Year awards, and it's also my favorite of the list. Hades is the other title by Bastion's developer Supergiant Games, and while you may notice some visual similarities with stunning hand-drawn artwork and a top-down perspective, Hades is quite a different game otherwise. You assume the role of Zagreus, the son of Hades, who, after years of daddy issues, has decided it is time to leave the underworld no matter the cost. That cost, by the way, is his life. You'll hack and slash your way through handcrafted yet procedurally arranged levels over and over and over again until you meet your fate and return home to a father who is not too happy that his sarcastic, wisecracking son is once again caught being out well past his bedtime. That's right, Hades is a roguelike, but if there's even the slightest voice in your head saying you don't play roguelikes, tell that voice to get lost, because Hades is not one to miss. The try, die, upgrade, and then try again formula is no gimmick this time, but rather the basis around which the narrative revolves. During your runs, you'll meet many of the best-known characters of Greek mythology, and probably more than a few you've never known, but you'll come to love them all as the backstory is fleshed out and you learn who is cheering you on and who will stop you no matter what, just to stay on your father's good side. The 40-plus characters are voiced with performances that sit among the best work of any medium, and those you meet will offer you both permanent and temporary buffs that keep the gameplay of Hades evolving constantly so it never wears out its welcome. With each escape attempt, characters will remember when they saw you last, recalling previous battles, failures, and triumphs, and every ounce of dialogue builds to a greater narrative that you have a surprising amount of control over based on who you choose to align with. If that wasn't enough, the soundtrack by in-house composer Darren Korb provides the perfect backdrop as you get just a little closer to the surface with each passing attempt. You'll unlock swords, spears, bows, and quite a few more weapons, and for those of you who do make it out alive, you'll be treated to an endgame that is virtually infinite with a story that will continue to expand. Hades just released for Switch and PC earlier this year, and is Game of the Year for multiple outlets, including Nindie Nation. As such, there isn't a huge discount yet, but nonetheless, 20% off through the end of the year will provide potentially dozens of hours of fast-paced roguelike action to last you well into 2021. If you walk away from today's video with a game in mind that you want to pick up, let us know in the comments below, and if you want to see more weekly content covering indie games on the Switch, hit subscribe and join us for our weekly show covering each week's new releases and best eShop deals. I mentioned at the top that we have all of the best eShop deals currently worth checking out, and that's because this week's sale is alarmingly similar to the one we covered on Black Friday, so I linked to that video in the card above and the description below if you want to see the 70-plus games we recommended last month. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up, and we hope to see you again soon. Until then, I'm Jeff, this has been Nindie Nation, and should you pick up one of today's titles, we hope that it proves to be just the thing to keep your Joy-Cons synced.